yesterday we had a nearly hour-long conversation on the show about basically who is calling the shots in terms of like Israel kind of just doing its own thing, or whether or not America was going to have boots on the ground imminently any second.
There won't be boots on the ground.
Well, okay, another one for team Hannah, Claire, and Jeremy. So Hannah, Claire, and I believed very strongly yesterday that this was just Trump basically staying out of it. He's been very clear about his, anti-war position. We can sell Israel all the bombs they need, and they can deliver all the bombs they need.
Right.
That's basically where we were at.
I think that's a very likely scenario, or at most there could be some air support from the U.S. Possibly.
Yeah, there could be. They're talking about it with this this nuclear facility that's inside of a mountain that they're going to need a bunker buster for.
Right.
Fine, sell them one. Like, fine. Like, everybody is going full doomer, and I understand it. We've been fooled before. Who can forget how Bush Jr. literally said God ascended from upon high to whisper in his ear and tell him that he needed to go to war with Iraq. Like, all this stuff, USS Liberty, all this kind of stuff. Right now, the reality of it is that there has never been more money being made on X pushing outright false information.
Right.
I don't like using the misinformation because that's kind of a leftoid term.
But propaganda's real. Propaganda's always existed in the age of right now, social media at the point that it's in. It's like there are bots everywhere. All over the place.
Yeah, I
dominated by bots.
Yeah, and some Magic Prepper and Chess. I think it's fair for Luke to be concerned about another Middle East conflict. We agree. And where we were at yesterday in the conversation was that I agreed and Hannah Claire agreed that we don't want a conflict in the Middle East, but we disagreed on the fact that U.S. boots on the ground were imminent, if not already there.
Well, and to me, this looks like an entirely different situation. This looks like this is something that can be ended swiftly. I mean, Israel's already done a huge chunk of the job. Let them finish it. Take out the weapons and the other leader that they want to take out. The job's already almost done. This isn't going to be the same scenario as Iraq was.
I'm kind of remembering back to Iraq during I remember my dad always used to tell me, and maybe either one of you would have a more knowledge, or the chat might be able to fix it or correct me. But I remember my dad always telling me that the Iraq invasion the second time never would have had to happen if they would have just finished the job during the Gulf War. That he I don't know if that's true.
My dad was at both.
Oh my god. Yeah. I've heard that before, but I'm not a military expert enough to clarify.
Yeah, maybe chat can correct that. But my dad always used to say the whole reason we're in the second war is because we didn't take them out the first time. We basically had them completely cornered. And we could have finished a job, and then we didn't. Now, maybe he was wrong. He was not some kind of crazy military expert.
Yeah, I don't know about that situation, honestly. But I think in this one, go ahead and finish the job. It would just be stupid not to when they've already done as much as they have.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, I'm fine with Israel finishing the job.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the ideal scenario. Let Israel finish it.
Yeah.
That's the ideal scenario.
Yeah, but I mean, I am not as swayed. If you refresh Twitter, it's Donald Trump calls for a ceasefire. Refresh. Donald Trump tells his closest people that he's ready to strike Iran imminently. This said, United Nations officials. By the way, if anybody's tweeting with a red emoji light and the word breaking, just know that they're a liar. Just so everyone knows, this Raw News Alerts guy, he's a furry. Just so you all, he's like a sex dog deviant. Did you not know that? Yeah, he got outed as a creepazoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
he uses the dog mask.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember that.
So all these people are oh my god, a red light and a hashtag breaking. I don't want to. I'm only say this lightly because he's not here to defend himself. But even co-hosts on the show endlessly saying my sources are saying this, my sources are saying that. It's getting a little tiresome.
Right.
This guy tweeted Donald Trump is seriously considering a strike on Iran ahead of his meeting at 1 Eastern today. Okay, well, 1 Eastern is long come and gone. And by the way, he tweeted this after 1 Eastern.
Oh.
So it's like, you know, oh yeah, he has a duty diaper fetish too, this guy. So, but I mean, like,
wow.
But he's sponsored by Polymarket, and he's and he's farming for money. It's like people just gotta chill, you know.
Well, that's the hard thing about having X be your major news source, especially when there are people who are trying to get. And I don't necessarily fault everyone for this on the face of it. Like, people want to have high engagement, they want to reach a huge audience, but also I think especially when there's a rapidly developing situation, it becomes very easy to be repeating half verified information or stuff that's speculation. Like, again, this is not a shade thing. I'm going to echo Jeremy here, but like, if you're like saying my sources, you know, you can only do that once or twice, and then I need to know who your source is.
Well, to be fair,
verification.
I love you, Luke, but Luke retweeted this retard, who's like, Luke retweeted this Suleiman Ahmed guy, which is like a fake news outlet.
Yeah, very much.
And like, he's like, Trump is expected to sign an executive order within the next few hours to formally join a war. Source, Israeli Channel 14. It's like, first of all, I know Melonie's reasons for backing Israel. I'm not putting her in a corner here, but I'm saying
it's okay to disagree with me too. I'm totally fine.
I know that. But I'm saying, I'm going to disagree with you, but I'm saying Israel does do propaganda, a lot of it. And literally every source that has been coming out and saying that America's going to join this war is Israel. And like, and this guy, like, Luke retweeted him and was like, see? I'm like, dude, this guy's like worse than Matt Wallace or like Ian Miles Strong. He's like one of the biggest morons on X. And what credibility does this guy have? And that guy's tweet had like thousands and thousands of likes and retweets. Oh,
of course.
And I think some of it is like, people are probably, everyone's guilty of this, like looking for what they want to hear. So if you believe that Trump has been secretly planning to get involved in this and it's an effort to expand war, then you're going to look for whatever confirms your opinion. It's hard for me to believe that during this particular crisis, the Trump administration is not doing at least its utmost to prevent any kind of information leaks. So anyone who's like a source close to the president or someone from inside the White House, like I just feel like I have to treat it skeptically, because it would be surprising to me that someone would be like, this is my opportunity to talk to the press.
Or it's being leaked on purpose, which is exactly what it's like. One day, some people are like, well, Axios is reporting this. And the next day, people are like, Axios? It's like, well, which is it? Is Bibi Netanyahu an evil genocidal warmonger, or is he not? The same. Everyone's like flip-flopping back and forth based on what is confirming their own biases. Like, it is, I happen to think, I happen to think, this probably will never show, but like, they're like, Huck's like laying on his back. I won't show. When I had my webcam, I could just pick it up and show people. I happen to think someone in chat said your dad was right. We allowed Saddam to claim a defensive victory over the USA. We could have driven an armored column through Baghdad, flags flying with the full sky of gunships, no second war. Okay, so there you go. And like, so it's like, part of me, the practical part of me is like, we'll just finish it already. Like, you've done this much.
Get it done. It's already,
I don't support the war. I don't want America to be a part of the war. But the practical part of me is like, all right, well, you already did all this. So just take out the place in the mountain and take out that whatever guy and be done with it.
Right.
JD Vance came out with a tweet that was basically like, guys, chill the F out.
Yes, for real.
And a lot of people yesterday fairly pointed out, well, why hasn't Trump combated this? Why? I'm like, I think this Trump is different. He's not on Twitter like he used to be.
No,
and
exactly.
And he, you know, like, I think a lot, like, if Axios is reporting that Trump is considering, entering the war or bombing Iran, that is because the White House said that specifically. And it's my opinion that it is simply to posture to get Iran to get to the table already. If you look at all Trump's hawkish tweets from tweets that like even I like tweet. I was like, hopium fading. I could be wrong, and it absolutely could be wrong. But there's like a lot of these like I didn't like where he's like we have total air superiority and this kind of stuff. But I think this is him just doing what he can to apply pressure, to get them to stop.
In a situation like this too, you can't show weakness. He's making it clear. And one thing I really like about Donald Trump is he's a strong man, and that's how he portrays himself. And so in this kind of situation, it's like, this is what's going on. Guess what? We see you, and we could eliminate you if we want to, but we are practicing some restraint right now. So he's giving them a chance to, okay, surrender, work with us here. Here's your chance. But he's being very bold in that and not being passive in that endeavor.
I think that's I agree with that. I think if Trump is saying, we know where you are, and we could take you out if we want, if we were going to take him out, we would do it.
Right. They would have already done it if it was just like, if there wasn't any sort of chance here at a negotiation for a surrender or something.
So what do you think Trump's best move is right now? Because I do feel like a large majority of the people who support him are pretty much anti-war. They don't want to send American troops to a foreign conflict. Obviously, Trump has pledged loyalty to Israel, or at least vowed that the nation has the right to protect itself. You saw Netanyahu say, "Oh, this was a move out of self-defense when all of this started." Does Trump continue to stay away from the conflict? Does he have to go there and be part of the negotiation? I mean, what's his best step right now?
Well, there was a report last night that he was going to send Witkoff to go and do some level of negotiation, and I think that's what he's going to do. I really, for everybody spurging out and saying, we're seconds away from entering the war, Trump has not indicated that even at the slightest. So I just, I think his best move right now is to continue to ratchet up the pressure and just let Israel do what they want to do then.
Right.
I don't think Iran can defeat Israel anyway. So just let him handle it.
Even without us. And so it's just like, at what point when people keep, or all this panic and hysteria going on right now of, oh no, I don't want another big war, a forever war, all this. How long do you think that this war can even last with already the damage that Israel's already accomplished? And then especially if we take out their weapons, what are they going to do at this point? And their regime's taken out. Like what do they think's going to happen after that?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of
retaliation are they going to be able to achieve.
Well, I don't know what they have in terms of troop numbers. I'm not educated on that. Maybe they have a huge number of troops. I suspect they don't. And I suspect based on the civil unrest that we're seeing, you may see them rise up again. There's people alive in Iran that remember when they were free. It's not like it was that long ago.
Like this regime oppressed their own people, or murdering their own people. I mean, this is also doing the people of Iran a favor. So I don't get when people are defending jihadists in this situation, or it just boggles my mind. This is doing their people a favor in the process.
Yeah, I think I will. My position remains the same as it was yesterday. Israel said they don't need our help. Sell them all the bombs that they want to buy. If they want to buy, if they want to lease a B-2 bomber for an hour to drop a bunker buster, I don't care. I just don't want any U.S. troops on the ground. I don't want any U.S. assets hurt. And by the way, Iran has not targeted a single United States asset. This is another thing too. Last night, people were like, oh my God, there's a boat on fire. This is definitely a false flag. See. And I'm like, it was two boats that collided. There's no indication it has anything to do with military ops. And so in this particular case, like somebody in chat says, you guys are very uninformed on Iran's capabilities. No, I'm not. What have they done? What are their? Are they just holding back?
To them at the moment.
Yeah, are they just holding back these incredible capabilities? Yeah. They have a very small army of jets that are very old. This is known. Where are all their hypersonic ballistic missiles that they have? Where? Keep telling me how much of a threat they are. Where? How come they haven't struck
we've
back?
Been saying they're a threat for like what, decades at this point?
Right.
Well, that's the thing. You take out the weapons while they start rebuilding. If their regime doesn't improve and they have just as much of a murderous regime again, then once they start building up again and it becomes a threat and they're not following regulations, take out their weapons again. And you just gotta keep doing that if you have to. Some people will be a pain in the neck for all of existence. You see these kind of wars in the Bible too. There are some people that are just menaces to society. So what are you going to do? Just wait until the problem arrives on our doorstep? Wait until mass casualties actually happen before you do anything when you can neuter them on the spot? Why would you not?
Yeah, someone asked, how did Afghanistan go, Jeremy? I don't know. I'm not quite sure I understand your point. America had boots in the ground there. I didn't support that either. So,
or is he saying it was just like kind of an endless war? Because I understand that fear that like,
I don't want that either.
Say, we'll just sell them bombs, but ultimately we always get entangled in everything. This conflict is happening with or without us. And so obviously Trump's role in it and his influence is undeniable. But I still think that you can hold Trump accountable to not deploying American troops and to staying out of this conflict more than any of his predecessors did. I don't personally trust the Israeli government. I think that they are operating for their own purpose.
They're doing whatever they want.
They're their own country. And I just would want the president to remember that we are also our own country, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be in the center of this.